Son Goku, a Saiyan that was sent to destroy planet Earth as a child, was taken in and raised by a martial artist by the name of Gohan. One day, Goku would suffer a head injury in a terrible accident that would kill any ordinary baby. Hell, it would probably even kill an adult too. The child was left with amnesia, having no serious damage done to his head, but Goku did forget about his mission of planetary genocide and began training under Gohan as a martial artist. Goku's skill and potential as a martial artist impressed the likes of Master Roshi, firing a Kamehameha after seeing Roshi do it once. Goku would then begin to study under Master Roshi. While training under him, he'd adapt values from his teachings that he'd live by for the rest of his life. Move well, learn well, play well, eat well, and rest well. The perfect balance between hard work, fun, and basic living necessities. Goku's journey as a martial artist would show him that there are fighters stronger than him out there. After his defeat by Jackie Chun, he was determined to get stronger. Goku's goal was never to solely be stronger than his opponent. His goal was always to surpass the version of himself that fought against his previous opponent. His goal is and always will be to surpass himself. Although Goku wouldn't realize this himself, his training with Roshi was already complete. His next master would be Kami himself, the god of Earth. Under Kami, Goku would quite literally fight against himself. Mr. Popo makes a clay replica of Goku that is just as strong and as fast as Goku was at that point in time. It's a perfect mirror, except that it shows no hesitation when it attacks. It doesn't think, it just acts. The doll dodges without thinking, attacks without thinking. Its eyes are lifeless, only being focused on one thing and one thing only: the fight. It only sees Goku and nothing else. Although Goku wins this fight, it is only because the doll runs out of energy and ceases operation. Goku never actually defeats this superior version of himself. While this fight is an anime original, it fits perfectly within the timeline and doesn't affect it in any negative way if it were to be included. In fact, it enhances the manga story by fleshing out certain events and elements. This is what I like to call canon filler. The Goku doll has no God Ki. In fact, its ki skills is as limited as Goku's, who's comedically only been able to fire large Kamehamehas up to this point and not small ki blast. Yeah, overkill was the only option for him. They're no way close to being gods, and yet this Goku doll has displayed elements similar to Ultra Instinct. The doll does not have Ultra Instinct, but the mental state of the doll was pretty much the same as Ultra Instinct Goku's. Once I came to that realization, it made sense that Goku's victory was a fluke. This doll was the perfect version of Goku, created to help Goku get to that point. During their fight, Goku empties his mind, closes his eyes, and dodges the doll's attack, counterattacking and being dumbfounded, not understanding what he just did or how he did it. Not understanding how he did what he just did. As the fight goes on, Goku finally grasps it. Seeing only his opponent, the two fight and Goku lands the final blow. Unfortunately, the blow was landed once the doll ran out of juice. This isn't Ultra Instinct, but it's similar to what Roshi pulled off during the Tournament of Power in the manga. I guess you can say it's the real life equivalent of Ultra Instinct, since it is a mental state that martial artists of our world has actually achieved. Training with Kami would allow Goku to manipulate and sense ki perfectly. Later on, Goku would train under King Kai, after meeting his untimely demise. King Kai's training was more strength training, due to the gravity of the planet being far heavier than Earth's. He learned both the Kaioken and the Genki Dama, two techniques that would prove useful in the future. After this point, Goku wouldn't train under anyone for about 16 years before training under Whis. It is there that his true training for Ultra Instinct begins. Ultra Instinct's true name is Magate no Gokui, the secret of the self-centered. Ultra Instinct is an advanced mental state that is considered to be the pinnacle of martial arts. Emptying their mind, the user's body fights on its own. They attack and dodge without thinking, their reaction time being quick enough to dodge just about anything. Goku learns this technique and can improve its effectiveness in correspondence with multipliers of his Super Saiyan forms. Being able to use this technique has no drawbacks, but can only get you so far. This technique is merely a mental state, and a technique. The Ultra Instinct transformation, on the other hand, grants Goku so much more. The Ultra Instinct transformation not only grants the user mastery of the Ultra Instinct technique, but it grants them an astronomical increase in both power and speed. After breaking his limits, Goku unconsciously awakens Ultra Instinct Sign. In the manga, he just sorta does it. The anime really made a spectacle out of the whole thing. While Goku was in Ultra Instinct Sign for the first time, he wasn't conscious. It wasn't perfect. Even when he was awake when entering it for the second time, he struggled to use it effectively when it came to dealing out physical blows. As Goku continued to use the Ultra Instinct Sign transformation, he would slowly begin to get a grasp of the Ultra Instinct form, and soon enter the perfected version of the Ultra Instinct transformation. Unfortunately, he could not do this at will, and it left a heavy toll on his body. After the Tournament of Power, Goku and Vegeta would continue to train against each other. They'd even go on to fight against Broly, who quickly evolved into a universal threat at least. That fight alone made Goku stronger. That fight, alongside his training with the Angel Mirrors, and the ass beating he received from Moro, definitely raised his body's durability, making it durable enough to withstand Ultra Instinct. He even learned how to enter both Ultra Instinct forms at will. Goku is a martial artist. The doll he fought against was a sneak peek of his goal. Now Goku's pushing even farther beyond that goal. Vegeta is on the opposite side of the spectrum. Vegeta was born powerful. Because of his high power level and royal blood, he was raised to look down on those weaker than him in power and status. He was the elite, while the weaker Saiyans were labeled low-class warriors. After the fall of the Saiyan race, Vegeta would serve under Frieza. He traveled to planets, slaughtering their inhabitants, so the planet was ready to be sold. Sometimes he would destroy entire planets without a second thought. Along with Vegeta were two other Saiyans, Raditz and Nappa. Vegeta led them, due to his superior power and the title that he refuses to let go of, the Prince of all Saiyans. Vegeta was unrivaled, only kneeling or showing fear to those that eclipsed him in power. This included the Ginyu Force, Frieza, and the God of Destruction, Beerus. Later on, when Vegeta would meet Goku on Earth, he would immediately look down on him, even after seeing him take out Nappa, an elite Saiyan warrior, proving that he's gotten stronger since his fight against Raditz. Vegeta wasn't wrong in assuming Goku was inferior than him, however. Goku was weaker than Vegeta, but not that much weaker. He was still close to Vegeta in power. A low-class Saiyan surpassing an elite warrior was inconceivable, and yet, Kaioken gave Goku the boost he needed to surpass Vegeta momentarily. A low-class warrior forced a Saiyan elite like Vegeta to resort into transforming into a great ape. Vegeta did in fact defeat Goku, but he ended up using his entire arsenal to do so. Namek is where we really get to see Vegeta's brutality. He destroys Kui from the inside out, obliterates Dodoria's body, slaughters Namekian villages, and penetrates Zarbon's abdomen with a single powerful punch before firing a blast inside of his stomach and out from his back. He decapitates Guldo. He even uses his knee to shatter the neck of an unconscious birder, obliterates a sleeping raccoon, and kills Chase with a point-blank blast to the face. If Vegeta wasn't showing an expression of anger when dispatching of his opponents, he was most definitely smiling. As a Saiyan, Vegeta enjoys fighting powerful opponents, but he seemed to find some enjoyment in killing those weaker than he was. It wouldn't be long for his ego to get him killed. During the Z-Fighters' desperate struggle against Frieza on planet Namek, Vegeta received the Zenkai boost after convincing Krillin to mortally wound him, and for Dende to heal him afterwards. After receiving this huge boost in power, Vegeta claims to be the legendary Super Saiyan that Frieza fears. Vegeta shows off his new power, but to no avail. He tortures and kills Vegeta, but not before showing him the horror of being completely helpless for the very first time in his life, like he's done to so many others. Vegeta did not learn his lesson. He was second fiddle to Goku, who ended up becoming an actual Super Saiyan and bodying Frieza. That was until Vegeta became a Super Saiyan himself, easily killing Android 19, who had defeated a weakened Goku prior. Vegeta's ego would still be severely damaged after the Super Saiyan powers he recently acquired fails against Android 18. Fortunately for Vegeta, he would not only surpass Android 18, but unlock an all-new Super Saiyan form altogether. Super Saiyan Grade 2. Vegeta cockily refers to himself as Super Vegeta in this form. Super Vegeta had more than enough power to destroy Semi-Perfect Cell. This is when Vegeta's ego rears its ugly head, yet again. After learning about Cell's perfect form, he decides to let him absorb Android 18, just to prove that his perfect form was no match for his power. Perfect Cell defeats Vegeta. Vegeta could have saved the Earth, but instead put it back in the danger he could have rescued it from. In the end, Goku dies, and Gohan is the one that ultimately defeats Cell. Not only did his rival die, leaving their bout unsettled, his son ended up surpassing him. Vegeta's ego was damaged, but soon, that would all change. 7 years later, Goku would be allowed to return to the world of the living for a day. Vegeta wants to fight Goku at the Tenkaichi Budokai, but Babidi gets in the way of that event. Vegeta was not going to let this chance pass by him again. During the pursuit of Babidi, the Z fighters end up fighting against Babidi's henchmen. Vegeta's ego flares out of control against his opponent, Pui Pui. In the end, Vegeta takes the pleasure of obliterating Pui Pui. While Goku kills Yakan later on, it was more Yakan's fault for absorbing more energy than he can handle. So ultimately, he ended up killing himself. Vegeta's fight was just straight up murder. It's to be expected from him at this point. Vegeta allows Babidi to mind control him, bringing out the evil in his heart. While Vegeta's evil was brought out to the surface, he was not under Babidi's control. Vegeta kills the audience of the tournament as well as some of the citizens of Papaya Island, forcing Goku to fight him. Their fight is interrupted and postponed after Boo's awakening. This was the last time we would see Vegeta's ego dictate his actions. Vegeta knocks Goku out, choosing to fight Boo alone, and ultimately sacrificing himself in the end. Entering Dragon Ball Super territory, Vegeta's ego did not appear at all during the Battle of God Saga. He knew the threat Beerus posed, and insulted his own pride to ensure Earth's safety. He was mature when dealing with Frieza, and lost against Hit without making himself look like a complete fucking idiot. Unfortunately, that would come to an end. This instance isn't as bad as the others. While Vegeta is arrogant for attempting to fight Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black alone, his downfall isn't entirely his fault. You see, he witnessed Goku's Black fight against Goku on Earth and saw how strong he became. They didn't have the knowledge of Goku Black's hyper evolution when it came to power, so Vegeta was fired up. Still, he was blinded by his ego, not realizing how much more powerful Black had become. Instead of carefully observing Rose's power, he just flies into the fight balls deep, only to get nutted on. The Tournament of Power was a very interesting experience for Vegeta. After Goku awakens his Ultra Instinct sign, Vegeta attempted to do it himself. Why wouldn't he? Every form Goku has, Vegeta can access it, except Super Saiyan 3. Moving on to his fight against Toppo, Vegeta wasn't fighting on pure ego. His Super Saiyan Blue evolved power didn't get to his head. He took Toppo seriously and used his pride in his Saiyan race as a fuel for his power, instead of believing that he would win by default simply because he was Vegeta. Now here we are. Currently, Vegeta is fighting against the most powerful mortal in the universe, Granola. Granola has already defeated Ultra Instinct Goku. During his fight against Granola, Vegeta's ego shows itself once more. This time it's a bit different. He isn't being cocky because he thinks he's stronger. Vegeta is well aware that Granola is far more powerful than him. With that being said, why the cocky attitude? Well, Vegeta has spotted a weakness that could cause Granola the entire fight. His egotistical attitude has a right to be displayed here. All Granola has is power, no battle experience. He's a noob when it comes to engaging in actual combat. Vegeta looks down on him for taking the easy route to gain his power. Granola's inexperience wasn't the only reason for Vegeta's ego. You see, Vegeta was getting stronger as the fight went on. Fighting someone far more powerful served for great training for the Saiyan Prince. This fight Vegeta found himself in was like no other. He wasn't on planet Earth at the moment. He was on a planet that means absolutely nothing to him. There isn't anyone else around either. He isn't fighting to protect anyone or anything. He's just fighting for pleasure. With nothing else getting in his way, Vegeta was free to fight without any restraints at all. Something he hasn't done in a really long time. After fighting against an opponent much more powerful than him, Vegeta is badly wounded. Granola has struck one of Vegeta's vital points. But by then, it was too late. The limit break was complete. You see, after realizing that he could never hope to learn Ultra Instinct, he's decided to train with Beerus instead. Beerus not only helped Vegeta get over his guilt for his previous actions, he also taught him Hakai. This limit-breaking transformation Vegeta enters is not a simple God of Destruction transformation. It's something far more powerful. This is Ultra Ego. Ultra Ego's true name is Wagamama no Gokui, the secret of the self-indulgent. Vegeta obtains Ultra Ego by training with Beerus, the God of Destruction. Vegeta had mental limiters that prevented him from using Hakai. He felt guilty for all of the sins he's committed in the past. If that wasn't bad enough, he felt it was his responsibility to bear the weight of the sins all of the Saiyans committed. Vegeta is trapped in the past. Vegeta has changed as a person, but still doubts himself. Beerus tells him to destroy his previous self and create a new version of himself. Before creation comes destruction. Vegeta must destroy all doubt, all stray thought. He must destroy what he once was and what he currently is to create a brand new Vegeta. A Vegeta that can finally accept himself and who he is wholeheartedly. This is a Vegeta with the mental state strong enough to use Hakai. Vegeta didn't master it, but he was capable of using Hakai. A god key used by gods of destruction capable of erasing all matter and intangible objects. So far, Vegeta is capable of using Hakai on large objects. His use of it isn't as complex as Toppo's or any of the gods of destructions, since he's still a novice. But soon, that all changes. The circumstances of the fight between Vegeta and Granola, combined with Vegeta steadily getting stronger as the fight continues, cause Vegeta to break his limits and enter the state of Ultra Ego. Like Ultra Instinct does for Goku, this form changes Vegeta's mental state. In this form, Vegeta's ego is higher than it's ever been before. He's cocky, he's arrogant, and it shows. Vegeta is fighting the strongest mortal in the universe that has already defeated Goku 3 times in one day. This is the last person Vegeta should be acting this way towards. Yet he is. This form isn't a drastic change from Vegeta's actual personality. You see, Ultra Instinct is a martial arts based state of mind. It's the best version of Goku coming forth. His potential as a martial artist being unleashed, calming his mind so he can perform at peak performance. Literally his absolute best. Ultra Ego, however, magnifies Vegeta's already large ego to godly proportions. The same ego that got him beaten, killed, and put the entire planet at risk. This is a good thing. This form exists so Vegeta can back up his tough talk. Ultra Ego continuously increases Vegeta's power in correlation with his fighting spirit. That means the more excited he gets for a fight, the more his blood boils for the heat of battle, the stronger he becomes. Vegeta is a Saiyan that lusts for battle already. For a form like this to magnify his emotions and reward him for it is pretty broken. This isn't where it ends. If an opponent were to find out how Ultra Ego worked, they would most likely attempt to kill Vegeta as soon as possible. You see, the problem with that is damaging Vegeta also makes him stronger. In this form, he enjoys pain. Pain makes his fighting spirit burn even stronger. This form grants him a continuous source of power. Now his opponents will grant him even more. Vegeta's usage of Hakai also increases greatly. If this form is anything like the Ultra Instinct form that perfects the user's usage of the Ultra Instinct technique, then one can assume that Ultra Ego grants Vegeta mastery over Hakai. If it doesn't, it sure does magnify his usage dramatically. Toppo has an aura of destruction. that surrounds his body, making it dangerous to make direct contact with him. It also erases energy blasts before they could come into contact with his body. Vegeta's aura is far more chaotic, taking a flame-like form that can expand, disintegrating all that comes into contact with it. Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego are very different forms. However, they're so different, they're similar. These two forms are two sides of the same coin. The Ultra Instinct form draws out the user's hidden potential, granting them not only a boost to all stats, but also the ability to fight and dodge without thinking, making it almost impossible to touch them. The Ultra Ego form draws out the user's hidden potential, granting them not only a boost to all stats, but also the ability to increase their power in correlation with their fighting spirit, as well as the mastery of Hakai. This isn't stated, but Ultra Ego might have regenerative properties. When Vegeta enters Ultra Ego, all of his injuries disappeared. Just wanted to point that out. These forms are different because Goku and Vegeta are different. Ultra Instinct is the culmination of all of the martial arts teachings and experiences Goku has lived through. Goku's a martial artist, so this form calms his mind to use his martial arts to near perfection. This is the pinnacle of Goku. Ultra Ego is Vegeta's resolve, destroying his past self to create a better version of himself. Vegeta must defeat himself in order to become stronger. This form seems to take that to the next level. He isn't simply beating his past self from years ago. He's surpassing himself from 5 seconds ago. It's a form that allows Vegeta's ego to flourish. Instead of his ego getting himself killed, it's making him stronger, not to mention the perfection of Hakai. I feel like Ultra Ego is a celebration of Vegeta's character. Not only is his egotistical attitude paying off, he's giving off vibes from his Dragon Ball Z days. His battle-thirsty attitude reminds me of Majin Vegeta, and his willingness to destroy the entire planet was definitely a Saiyan Saga Vegeta move. But at the same time, he's still the Vegeta we know. Both Goku and Vegeta have reached their own new levels of power that fits them perfectly. One day, we might be fortunate enough to see the selfish and the indulgent join together and synchronize, so we may bear witness to the birth of the enlightened ones.